Let's continue with that story and actually go to Umlazi, where we find our reporter Nqobile Madlala, who's covering that story. Nqobile, the KZN government, of course, also launching its own 16 Days of Activism campaign today. And I believe you're with the Premier. What is she telling you, especially since KZN is having its very first female Premier?
Well, of course, we've heard her speaking to quite a number of people, and of course, we're going to get her to sort of speak to us about these issues, especially as a female. Masego, you can imagine how difficult this must be. But what we do know is that this matter of a grade 12, she handled it herself. So let's bring her in. Premier, we heard about this matter of a grade 12 learner that was assaulted by quite a number of the students in the area that she's coming from. Could you perhaps give us an explanation? Why did you feel the need to handle this by yourself?
Well, I felt the pain of a child because I'm also a mother myself. I felt the pain of the family because they haven't been counseled. The learner, when we got here, she had not received counseling. So I had to organize all of that, but also check whether the processes have been handled in a manner that will assist us so that while the case might have been opened, there's a number of other processes that should have happened for the learner, but also for us to ensure that there is positive prosecutions. On learning about the matter, when I got here, the learner was still crying. She was still not able to talk, and whenever she would try and talk, she was crying. So I had also to make sure that I'm able to counsel her, but also, make her realize that we are now here to come and assist her. We've moved her out of this hospital because we felt that it's not safe for her because other perpetrators have not been apprehended. There are others that have been apprehended because there were many of them. The worst thing is that she was also sexually assaulted. So all of those things combined, we needed to make sure that now that we are here, I do the right thing. That is of bringing now everybody to say, here is the case. We are in the, at the beginning of intensifying our fight against gender-based violence. Here is a 19-year-old learner who's just finished writing her first Zulu matric paper. Now, she's not been able to write exams since then. So we needed to make sure really that, because all of these things were going through her head, that she's now not been able to write her exam. She's now, having to deal with this traumatic thing to relieve all of these things. But I'm happy that we've moved her to a safe place. She's still in hospital, but she's now in the hospital where we believe that she's safe. And the families as well are able to go there. They've started doing counseling to her as well as to the family. And we believe that we really need to get communities to stand up against the gender-based violence. Because if the communities, at the time when the learner was being assaulted, if communities would have stood up at the time and say, stop, and this cannot be acceptable, it would not have gone through an extent of being beaten physically, being sexually assaulted, and all of those things. And really, the police alone can never win this war. Because at the time when they were still calling the police, something should have happened to ensure that these people are perpetrators, are arrested, but also to save the child from such a trauma that she had to go through.
Premier, it must be very difficult to go through this process yourself, but what does this mean for her future, understanding that she finished her exams but not completely finished the entire writing?
It's very painful because this is just symptomatic of what we experience every day. There's a lot of other cases like this that even go unreported. And we really been calling on communities, on families, let us report these matters. But also from the staff of government, from the police to the judiciary, to the nursing care, to the hospitals, we needed to make sure that at the time when this learner was brought here, she should have been taken immediately to the Tutuzela Center. Yes, I understand that she was in a very bad state. She needed, to be treated. But immediately, together with that treatment, she should have then come to this place, because that's where the DNA must be taken. This is where the statement must be taken and all of those evidence. Now, it's been left for this long because the case was reported at Umlazi, not here. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't know what's happening to that case, but when she got here, we've been able to then follow through on everything. But also, we've been able to take the family through counseling, because both parents, the mother and the father, they are also very, very at pains because they see their child and they can't help their child with anything.
Thank you very much, Premier, for speaking to us. We do know that the learner is, of course, going to be getting that counselling along with the family. We will be joining the Premier as she goes to the police station as well to find out some more.